Nnenna ran. Her feet barely touched the red earth as she sprinted down the narrow path that split the village of Umueke in two. In her hands, pressed against her chest like something sacred, was a clay pot of water. But that was not why she was running. She was running because she had heard them again. The women at the stream. Laughing. Not the kind of laughter that invites you in. The kind that builds walls. Nnenna thinks because she reads books, a man will want her. Let her keep her wisdom. See if wisdom will warm her bed at night. Even her own father said it. That girl came out wrong. She did not stop running until she reached her hut at the edge of the village, the hut her father built far from the main compound because, as he once told a visiting elder, she is not the kind of daughter you put in front. Nnenna set the pot down, sat on the floor, and breathed. She was 26 years old. Thin like the dry season had personally designed her. Her face was plain in the way people called kind when they wanted to say something else. She had no curves the village song celebrated. No softness the men wrote poems about. But inside that quiet body lived a mind that could solve problems. Chiefs brought their councils together to debate. She spoke and people nodded, then later gave the credit to someone else. She had loved once. A teacher from the next village named Chokuma. He held her hand. He said her intelligence was rare. He said she was different. Then his family visited and his mother whispered, and Chokuma stopped coming. He married a girl from Ogita whose hips arrived before she did. Nnenna swallowed that pain. She planted it deep and watered it with silence. That night, the moon disappeared behind thick clouds and the village of Umueke went dark early. Nnenna walked to the stream again, alone, because she had left her wrapper on a stone in a hurry to escape the laughter. The path was quiet. The kind of quiet that has weight. Then she saw her. An old woman sitting on the root of the great orji tree. Sitting so still she looked carved from the darkness itself. Her white hair moved without wind. Her eyes, when they opened, glowed like dying embers refusing to go out. Nnenna stopped walking. "Come, child," the old woman said. Her voice did not echo. It landed. Like a hand placed firmly on your shoulder. Nnenna's legs moved before her mind agreed. She stood before the old woman, heart hammering, mouth dry. The old woman reached into the folds of her wrapper and pulled out a necklace. It was simple, a thin cord of dark thread holding a single pale stone that caught light from nowhere. It shimmered like a tear that refused to fall. "Wear this," the old woman said, already rising to place it around Nnenna's neck. "What is it?" Nnenna whispered. "It is what you already are," the old woman said. But louder. The stone settled against Nnenna's collarbone. It was warm. Unnaturally warm. Like it had been sitting against someone else's skin moments before. "Now listen to me carefully," the old woman said, gripping Nnenna's wrist with fingers stronger than they had any right to be. "Do not take off this necklace. Not for bathwater. Not for any man. Not for any reason this world throws at you. Do you hear me?" "Yes," Nnenna said. "But what happens if?" The old woman was gone. No footsteps. No rustle of leaves. Just the dark path and the sound of Nnenna's own breathing. She stood there for a long time, fingers pressed against the warm stone, feeling it pulse gently like a second heartbeat. The next morning, Nnenna went to the market for palm oil. She greeted Mama Chioma at the store, and Mama Chioma, who had barely acknowledged her for years, turned and stared. Not at her face. Not at her body. But at her as though hearing music for the first time. "Say that again," Mama Chioma said. "I only said good morning," Nnenna replied, confused. "Your voice," Mama Chioma said slowly. "Something is different about your voice today." Nnenna touched the stone at her throat. By afternoon, 3 people had stopped her mid-sentence just to hear her finish it. By evening, the village head's wife had come to her hut with a problem she had carried for 6 years, a land dispute her husband could not untangle, and sat down saying, "I do not know why, but I feel you can help me." Nnenna spoke for 30 minutes. By the time she finished, the woman was weeping quietly and nodding. "How did you know all that?" the woman asked. "I have always known," Nnenna said gently. "No one ever asked before." Word spread the way fire spreads in the dry season. Quietly at first, then suddenly everywhere. People began coming to Nnenna's hut at the edge of the village. Farmers with business problems. Women with marriage troubles. Young men needing direction. And every time she opened her mouth, something happened. Not magic exactly, but truth, delivered with such clarity and warmth that it cut through confusion like a machete through soft earth. Then Emeka came. Emeka was 32. He had returned from the city with money, ambition, and the kind of confidence that made men straighten their spines when he walked past. He was building a trading empire and needed a mind that could match his speed. Someone told him about the woman at the edge of the village. He came expecting to visit quickly and leave. He stayed for hours. He came back the next day. And the day after. "Marry me," he said on the 5th visit, leaning forward with eyes full of something Nnenna had never seen directed at her before. Not pity. Not politeness. Anger. "You do not love me," Nnenna said simply. "You love what I give you." "Is that not enough to start?" he asked. It was the wrong answer. But Nnenna was tired. Tired of empty nights. Tired of watching other women be chosen while she sat with her wisdom like a lamp no one wanted to light their homes with. She said yes. The village nearly swallowed itself with shock. Emeka, handsome, wealthy Emeka, choosing Nnenna. Women who had mocked her stood at their doorways with open mouths. Her own father, the man who had hidden her from suitors, wept and said this was God. But Nnenna noticed he wept with relief, not pride. She pushed that thought down. She had learned to push many things down. The first year of marriage was good. Emeka's business doubled. Then tripled. Every decision she whispered to him over evening meals became gold by morning. His name spread beyond Umueke, beyond the state. Men in large offices began calling him. He bought a car. Then a plot of land. Then another. But somewhere in the second year, something shifted. It started small. Emeka stopped asking her opinion at dinner. He started saying, "I already have a plan," before she could speak. He brought friends home, important men with large bellies and louder voices, and when Nnenna spoke, he would smile tightly and say, "My wife, always with her theories." The men would laugh. Nnenna would go quiet. Then one night, a business partner came to the house. The man was rude and loud and completely wrong about a trade route he was proposing. Nnenna, unable to sit quietly, leaned forward and said, "Actually, that route will cost you twice as much by the 3rd month. Here is why." Emeka cut her off. Not gently. Not privately. Right there, with the man watching, Emeka turned to her and said, "Nnenna, go and bring the drinks." The room went still. Nnenna looked at her husband. Her husband looked at the wall. She stood up slowly, went to the kitchen, and stood there in the dark for a long time, fingers pressed against the stone at her throat. It was pulsing. Not gently this time. Rapidly. Like a warning. 2 weeks later, Emeka's business partner could not close a single deal. His words came out confused in meetings. His proposals fell apart before he finished presenting them. He started avoiding phone calls. By the 3rd week, 3 major contracts had collapsed and he was hemorrhaging money at a speed no one could explain. Then it happened to Emeka's cousin who had laughed loudest at the dinner table. Then to his friend Obi, who once told Nnenna at a party, "Beautiful women are for showing. Brilliant women are for warning." Obi lost his voice entirely for 11 days. The doctors found nothing wrong. Emeka began to notice. He was not a foolish man. He watched the pattern. He thought about the necklace, the warmth he sometimes felt when he kissed her neck, the way her stone always seemed to glow faintly after conflict. One night while Nnenna slept, he reached over and unclasped the necklace. The moment it left her skin, the air in the room changed. Nnenna's eyes flew open. "What are you doing?" she said, her voice sharp with fear. "I just want to look at it," Emeka said, holding it up. "Give it back. Now." "Nnenna." "Emeka, give it back to me right now." Something in her voice, raw and urgent, made him place it back in her hand. She clasped it herself, hands shaking, and sat up against the wall, heart pounding. By morning, Emeka's biggest investor had called to withdraw. The business deal he had been building for 8 months fell apart by noon. His accountant discovered an error that had been sitting quietly in the books, waiting. By evening, Emeka had lost more money than he had made in the previous 3 months. He sat across from Nnenna at the table, eyes hollow. "It is the necklace," he said quietly. Nnenna said nothing. "It punishes people," he said. "People who disrespect you." Still she said nothing. "Am I next?" he asked. Nnenna looked at him for a long time. "You already are," she said softly. "You just have not finished counting your losses yet." He left before the end of the month. No dramatic scene. No shouting. Just a bag packed at dawn and the sound of a car reversing out of a compound that had never really felt like a home. The village talked. The village always talked. But this time, something was different. Even the loudest mouths went quiet quickly. Because 3 of the men who made the cruelest jokes found themselves suddenly unable to finish their sentences in public. Something kept interrupting them. A forgotten word here. A collapsed thought there. Nothing you could report to a doctor. Nothing you could explain to a priest. Nnenna went back to the edge of the village and her small hut and her evening solitude. Then one Tuesday morning, a man knocked on her door. His name was Tabena. He was a quiet schoolteacher who had grown up in Umueke and returned after years in the north. He was not rich. He was not loud. He had no empire to build. He stood at her door holding a small bag of garden eggs and said, "I heard you help people think through hard things. I have a hard thing." She let him in. He spoke. She listened. Then she spoke. And he did something no man had done in years. He listened back. He did not use her words to build something for himself. He did not redirect the conversation back to his own plans. He sat forward, eyes open, and heard her. When she said something insightful, he did not smile tightly or wave it away. He said, "That is exactly right. I had not seen it that way." He came back the next Tuesday. And the next. By the 4th visit, the stone was glowing. Not with warning. With warmth. Nnenna pressed her fingers against it and felt something she had almost forgotten. The feeling of being seen. Not for what you could give. Not for what you could become in someone else's hands. But for exactly what you already were. When Tabena finally held her hand one quiet evening and said, "I am not a wealthy man, Nnenna. But I promise you, I will never make you small," she did not answer immediately. She pressed her hand against the stone one last time. It was still. Completely still. Like something that had been waiting a long time had finally been allowed to rest. "Okay," she said. And for the first time in her life, that one small word felt like everything. If this story moved you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe so you never miss the next one, drop a comment telling us which part hit you hardest, and give this video a like because Nnenna deserves to be seen, and so do you.